So what's changed since 1941 and 1942? What's changed? From 1941, 1942 till 2025, right? What's changed? Have we learned anything at all? Um, so in those years, in 41, 42, that was the war, right? Right. And what were we fighting for? What did all these veterans die for? What did they die for? What did your American vets die for? And what did our Canadian vets die for? What's changed? I I I don't know numbers, statistics, like, but all I can think of is I've seen the cemeteries that are on TV of the American military guys. What is Flanders Field, stuff like that. And I've seen ours in France, all of the memorials for the Canadians that liberated little towns in France. They have their cemeteries there. But what's changed? So as humans, all I can think about is our values. All our values are the things that those people died for. What do you think? What do you think they died for? What was the number one reason they died for? All the Canadian soldiers and all the American soldiers and all the other soldiers that chipped in 41 and 42. What were we fighting? I know for Canada, I know what we were fighting for. I know the Americans came in late into the game. But as Winston Churchill said, it's about time. What did we lose all those men for? What was the reason? What's changed so much? I mean, people, they just signed up to go to war, to fight a cause. What was? This is what I'm trying to. I may sound a little off, but I'm just trying to make you think before I tell you, because we all can't. I don't care who you are. We all can't be that kind of animal. No, that would. Well, we can't be like that, humane, and call it. You can't be that way and call yourself human. You can't. You can't treat others and this is a wildly off topic for what I stream or put online. Okay, it's because of a few things that I saw that just pretty much almost like traumatized me. Like I just couldn't believe what I was hearing and reading. It was unthinkable, because we've got cemeteries full of fucking veterans. Excuse me. We got cemeteries full of people who fought in a war for a cause. Am I not correct? We in some cases we lost almost like I'm not even sure, almost like a quarter of the population for a cause, for a cause, for a cause. What was so important that all those people died for? What was so important? What was so important? What changed? What was so important that all these men, young men, 18, some even lied to go to war? What were they going to war for? They even lied to go to war, to sign up. They lied to get enlisted into the military to fight a cause. One cause amongst us all. What cause was that? I know you know. And I know as a human, you can't feel like that, because that would make you less human. Nobody can do that and then call themselves humane and human. What do you think all those people died for? All of them. There's maybe only a few of them now. I know we only have like maybe not. I bet you we don't even have any vets left from those from those wars. But what did they die for? What did they grow old? Why did they join the military? Inflict themselves with visual and mental trauma for somebody else's right. Right? That's what it is. They died supporting somebody else's rights and their own beliefs, because those rights and beliefs coincided together as righteousness. But I'm just wondering, what was? Can you think of the cause that was so important that young men would lie to get enlisted into the military? What cause would be so? What? Shoot! This is where I'm going to drop the bomb. Okay. What humane act was amongst everybody at that time? What were they trying to do? Why did they join the military? What was wrong in the world at that time that millions of people had to die in a war? What was the main cause? You know what the main cause is, but you're scared, because you're scared to get shit in your face. You're scared to get stuff thrown back into your face. You're scared. That's what it is. If you're human, that's exactly what it is. You're scared. If you're not human, then it would be considered evil. Non-human, it wouldn't be human. It would be something evil. It was a common cause, a common fight, a common belief across the planet that humans participated once in their life. A mutual cause What's changed that we don't remember what it is, or we don't want to talk about it? Why? Why? I want to talk about why we're not doing anything. I don't know if it's being patriot, like a patriot to the country, or being a patriot to humanity. I think it's a patriot to humanity is what it is. Why are we not doing anything? Why? Why are we all participating in doing wrong now? None of us learned anything. Not one of us in all the countries. All those vets died for nothing. For nothing. They died for nothing. They died for nothing because you and me, they died for nothing. Your cemeteries, my cemeteries, full of these veterans died for nothing. Nothing. Because we're not doing nothing again. Not again. I mean, we're not doing nothing. Why are we not doing anything? In 41, 42, we united as a species, humans, man, with a common. Wow. Shame on us that we didn't learn. Eh? Look at how many innocent. Yeah, look at how many innocent. See, this is where you got to draw the line. I could get right into this, man. I could get right into this. Why are we not doing anything? We did something the last time. We got cemeteries full of fucking people that did something the last time. We got cemeteries everywhere full of people that did something the last time. What's changed? Why is this right now when it was humanely wrong? To the point where Americans and Canadians lost thousands, if not millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people is what it is, if I'm not mistaken. Hundreds of thousands, if not more. What's changed? Do you support this? Are you human? Why did they die? The vets, why did they fight? What was the cause? What was the cause? What were they fighting for? I think we have a saying here with the poppy there. I saw a news thing on TV the other day where it was Don Cherry. Yeah. Lest we forget. Oh boy, have we forgotten. Look at how many are dying again. Are you? Lest we forget. I'm pretty sure that's what the saying is, or the poppy. Meaning, why did they die? What did they die for? Remembrance Day. And now we just sit here and watch it happen? I watched a newsreel where they spoke openly about doing the shit they did in 41 and 42 almost. Wait a minute. No, they did exactly the same thing. Doing exactly the same thing as what they did in 41 and 42. But why did we do something about it in 41 and 42? Why did everybody step in and say that's not right? and then now it's okay. What's changed? And I got to sit here and listen to this stuff on the news and stuff like that, and nothing's changed. And we're doing the same, and they're doing the same thing as what they did in 41 and 42. Because I don't understand this, man. I really don't understand this whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. It's not humane. It's not normal. It's not. It's not good. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. People dying is not good. Okay? It's not good. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. In 41 and 42, we had a common humanitarian obligation. That's exactly what it was. That's why all these men felt. That's what they felt. All these veterans with obligation. It wasn't patriotism. It was obligation to humanity. That's what it was. If you want to cut through the garbage, it was obligation to humanity. What would have happened if that would have continued in 41 and 42? What would have happened? What would have been the outcome? You know, we'd all be speaking a different language, probably. Okay? It'd be a completely different world, right? If we didn't step in with the obligation to do something about something that was happening to humanity. That's what they died for. They were these men, these Canadian and American soldiers felt obligated to do this. Sure, there was some that took off from the. You guys had to. We volunteered. You guys were drafted, I think, at the end. I don't know how that worked, but I know a lot of people died in that war that you people lost, and I know we got a loss too because they felt obligated to do something to help humanity from something that was wrong. What has changed? And I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know how else to leave it. We got cemeteries full of people that were obligated to do something about what's going on right now. Right now. Right now. What's changed? That's all I got to say. And I don't think I said anything wrong. I think I expressed myself, without offending anybody. I think I did a pretty good job. I hope I didn't offend anybody. But if you don't feel offended about what's going on, I would assume whatever. My opinion of what I'm going to assume. So yeah, I'll leave it at there. What's changed? And why did hundreds of thousands of Canadian and American soldiers and other soldiers from around the world, why did they feel obligated? What was the reasoning of their obligation to support humanity? What were they fighting? I'll leave it at that. I don't know what to say. Have a good night.